Om. 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Deva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tadpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Tvameva Mata cha Pipa Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vedya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Chai, what else do you? Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahamiryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So where are we in our text?
Starting chapter 57.
Chapter 57.
Beyond mind, there is no suffering. Pain is physical. Suffering is mental. Beyond the mind, there is no suffering. Pain is merely a signal that the body is in danger and requires attention. Suffering is due entirely to clinging or resisting. It is a sign of our unwillingness to move on, to flow with life. Questioner: I see you sitting in your son's house waiting for lunch to be served, and I wonder whether the content of your consciousness is similar to mine, or partly different, or totally different. Are you hungry and thirsty as I am, waiting rather impatiently for the meals to be served? Or are you in an altogether different state of mind? Maharaj: There is not much difference on the surface, but very much of it in the depth. You know yourself only through the senses and the mind. You take yourself to be what they suggest. Having no direct knowledge of yourself, you have mere ideas, all mediocre, second-hand, by hearsay. Whatever you think you are, you take it to be true. The habit of imagining yourself perceivable and describable is very strong with you.
So let's stop there. Shankara calls this phenomenon adhyasa, superimposition. I have a friend, and he's an older fellow, he's 80, and he says, I finally realized who I am. I'm an alcoholic, I'm a gay man, I have talents in the arts and music, and I have difficulty with people. That's who I am. So what he has done is take qualities of the body, qualities of the mind, and superimpose them on his self. This is the problem. The cause of that problem is avidya, ignorance. I don't know who I am. Then the subsequent misapprehension starts to take place. Does this make sense?
Yes.
So all the various practices that we do, which are essential for most of us, seva, doing service, karma yoga, bhakti, devotion, doing asana, doing psychotherapy, while valuable, only serve to sharpen the wonder sword of knowledge. Go and look in the dining room next to the window by the bookcase. You will see the Tibetan deity Manjushri. And Manjushri has a sword above his head. This is the wonder sword of knowledge. What it implies is discrimination. The sword cuts. Scissors comes from the same root as discrimination, disciple. All the same is cutting. So the only practice in the end that's efficacious is Atma Vichara. Vichara, what's Vichara mean?
To think or contemplate.
Discrimination, yeah. It comes from the root vich, which means to winnow, separate the wheat from the chaff, or separate the rice grain from its husk. That's what we need to do. Discriminate between the self and the not self. Kindness. Going on.
I see as you see, hear as you hear, taste as you taste, eat as you eat. I also feel thirst and hunger and expect my food to be served on time. When starved or sick, my body and mind go weak. All this I perceive quite clearly, but somehow I am not in it. I feel myself as if floating over it, aloof and detached. Not even aloof and detached. There is aloofness and detachment as there is thirst and hunger. There is also the awareness of it all, and a sense of immense distance, as if the body and the mind and all that happens to them, were somewhere far out on the horizon. I am like a cinema screen, clear and empty. The pictures pass over it and disappear, leaving it as clear and empty as before. In no way is the screen affected by the pictures, nor are the pictures affected by the screen. The screen intercepts and reflects the pictures. It does not shape them. It has nothing to do with the reels of film. These are as they are, lumps of destiny, prarabdha, but not my destiny, the destinies of the people on the screen. Questioner: You do not mean to say that the people in a picture have destinies. They belong to the story. The story is not theirs. Maharaj: And what about you? Do you shape your life, or are you shaped by it? Questioner: Yes, you're right. A life story unrolls itself, of which I am one of the actors. I have no being outside of it, as it has no I have no being outside of it, as it has no being without me.
So let's stop there a moment. One of the great differences between Western thought and yoga has to do with this idea of free will. What the scriptures say is only God has free will. God can do anything she wants. What fools us is destiny or prarabdha karma manifests in us as impulse, desire, choice, and action. The illusory mind thinks, I did it. But it's just guna and karma, qualities of mind and the force of the past as it interacts with the karmic environment of the society. The Dow was down this morning. Jim didn't do that. That's the environment. One of the things that makes us so tense and produces anxiety is I have this after the fact reflection, this chintya. Oh, I did so well yesterday. I did blah, 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 blah. Or more problematic, oh, I really messed it up yesterday. I did yada, 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 yada. I'm a bad person. Or the other end in the future. What am I going to do? Should I do that or should I do this? What if I make the wrong decision? As if my well-being is based on some future decision. Who's had thoughts like this? It's insane. It's insane. It's like planting an acorn and then rubbing your hands saying, oh, I hope it doesn't grow up to be a rabbit. It's pointless.
Wait, what's the planting of the acorn?
Say it louder.
What's the planting, or who's the planting the acorn, or what's the acorn?
The acorns can only grow oak trees. They can't grow rabbits.
Right, but who's planting the acorn, or?
In the end, it's this incredibly complex karmic experience.
Mm,
This is the Ashwatha tree. This is the beautiful tree of life that we get both in Kathopanishad and in Gita. You've probably seen pictures of it. It's all upside down. Its leaves and branches are below and its roots are above. Have you seen pictures of that?
Yeah.
So what does it mean? The leaves, the branches is the fruit is yours and my life as individuals. But the roots are lost in the timeless karmic interactions. It's all, and you don't need to know. You don't need, oh, 15 lifetimes ago, I kicked a dog. That's why one bit me today. You don't need to know that. All you need to know, the dog bit me. Prarabdha. But this allows the yogi not to get caught up in regret or worry. Stay right here, right now. And if you must identify with a sense of agency, which isn't really real, then take on the notion of being impeccable yogi in the now. Don't be a jerk. I think I've shared this with you before. In the Raja Yoga tradition, we have the yamas and niyamas. The moral precepts, both in the external world and the interior way to treat ourselves. They all boil down to ahimsa. Don't hurt or harm others. Don't hurt or harm yourself. And eventually we see that any particular body, mind, intellect is just a character in God's drama. You know, you may have a bit part. Probably you do. You're just a supernumerary, as we say in the opera world. I'm just a spear carrier walking across the stage. You get your silly little 70, 80, 90 years and you're on. You may have a leading role, but you can't make it happen. Any thoughts on this? You're going to do what you're going to do. Don't worry about it. And you, the self, are never touched. Going on.
I'm merely a character, not a person. Maharaj, the character will become a person when he begins to shape his life instead of accepting it as it comes and identifying himself with it. Questioner. When I ask a question and you answer, what exactly happens? Maharaj. The question and the answer both appear on the screen. The lips move, the body speaks, and again the screen is clear and empty. Questioner. When you say clear and empty, what do you mean? Maharaj. I mean free of all contents. To myself, I am neither perceivable nor conceivable. There is nothing I can point out and say, this I am. You identify yourself with everything so easily. I find it impossible. The feeling, I am not this or that, nor is anything mine, is so strong in me that as soon as a thing or a thought appears, there comes at once the sense, this I am not. Questioner.
So let me give you an example. Do you see the bowl on the table? Is there any process you need to go through to know you're not a bowl?
Mhm.
So for the jnani, the body, mind, intellect is far away, just like the bowl. For you and me, we have to do the process of continuous discrimination. Going on.
Questioner. Do you mean to say that you spend your time repeating, this I am not, that I am not? Maharaj. Of course not. I am merely verbalizing for your sake. By the grace of my Guru, I have realized once and for all that I am neither object nor subject, and I do not need to remind myself all the time. Questioner. I find it hard to grasp what exactly you mean by saying that you are neither the object nor the subject. At this very moment, as we talk, am I not the object of your experience and you the subject? Maharaj, look, my thumb touches my forefinger. Both touch and are touched. When my attention is on the thumb is the feeler and the forefinger the self. Shift the focus of attention and the relationship is reversed. I find that somehow by shifting the focus of attention, I become the very thing I look at and experience the kind of consciousness it has. I become the inner witness of the thing. I call this capacity of entering other focal points of consciousness love. You may give it any name you like. Love says, I am everything. Wisdom says, I am nothing. Between the two, my life flows. Since at any point of time and space, I can be both the subject and the object of experience, I express it by saying that I am both and neither and beyond both. Questioner, you make all these extraordinary statements about yourself. What makes you say those things? What do you mean by saying that you are beyond space and time? Maharaj, you ask and the answer comes. I watch myself. I watch the answer and see no contradiction. It is clear to me that I am telling you the truth. It is all very simple. Only you must trust that I mean what I say, that I am quite serious.
So let me stop there. Again, going back to Shankara. Shankara says, without knowledge of the self, study of the scriptures is futile. If you try to do it by yourself, you'll get lost in misunderstanding your own projections. There's a wealth of commentaries. Many of them are other people doing nothing more than sharing their ignorance. Then Shankara says, with knowledge of the self, study of the scriptures is again futile. What have I to gain by studying scripture? I have become an Upanishad. Let me give you an example. So a spaceship arrives, and the little gray men in the spaceship have been reading a book. And their book is very strange that says that people have 4 arms, a head, and 2 legs. And they're blue. And they come and see you. And they say, greetings, Earthling. Are you a human? I thought you were supposed to have 4 arms and a head and 2 legs and be blue. You're not that. What would be your answer?
I'm still an earthling.
Do you have 4 arms?
No.
Do Earthlings have 4 arms? How do you know this? Did you read it in a book? You see my point? So for the jnani, it's their direct, obvious experience. It's not something that comes and goes. When are you ever not you? It's so obvious once you see it. Going on.
As I already told you, my guru showed me my own true nature and the true nature of the world. Having realized that I am one with and yet beyond the world, I became free from all desire and fear. I did not reason out that I should be free. I found myself free, unexpectedly, without the least effort. This freedom from desire and fear has remained with me since then. Another thing that I noticed was that I do not need to make an effort. The deed follows the thought without delay and friction. I've also found that thoughts became self-fulfilling. Things fall into place smoothly and rightly. The main change was in the mind. It became motionless and silent, responding quickly, but not perpetuating the response. Spontaneity became a way of life. The real became natural, and the natural became real. And above all, infinite affection, love, dark and quiet, radiating in all directions, embracing all, making all interesting and beautiful, significant and auspicious. Questioner. We are told that various yogic powers arise spontaneously in a man who has realized his own true being. What is your experience in these matters? Maharaj. Man's fivefold body, physical and so forth, has potential powers beyond our wildest dreams. Not only is the entire universe reflected in man, but also the power to control the universe is waiting to be used by him. The wise man is not anxious to use such powers except when the situation calls for them. He finds the abilities and skills of the human personality quite adequate for the business of daily living. Some of the powers can be developed by special training, but the man who flaunts such powers is still in bondage. The wise man counts nothing as his own. When at some time and place some miracle is attributed to some person, he will not establish any causal link between events and people, nor will he allow any conclusions to be drawn. All happened as it happened because it had to happen. Everything happens as it does because the universe is as it is.
There's a wonderful story in Christian scripture that I just love. So Jesus is walking along the road with the 12 disciples, and a woman with an issue of blood, she probably had a chronic vaginal discharge, comes up behind him and touches his robe, touches his garment. Jesus stops and turns and says, "Who has touched me?" For he had felt power go out of him. He, as a personality, did nothing. But he was so open, so surrendered, so not there, that her desire for healing invoked the grace. Over and over again, Jesus says, "Your faith has made you whole." Haven't you had the experience of being with a friend or a client and an answer of wisdom comes through you? It's not something you read in a book. Any thoughts on this? Going on.
Questioner. The universe does not seem a happy place in which to live. Why is there so much suffering? Maharaj. Pain is physical, suffering is mental. Beyond the mind, there is no suffering. Pain is merely a signal that the body is in danger and requiring attention. Similarly, suffering warns us that the structure of memories and habits, which we call the person, Vyakti, is threatened by loss or change. Pain is essential for the survival of the body, but none compels you to suffer. Suffering is due entirely to clinging or resisting. It is a sign of our unwillingness to move on, to flow with life. As a sane life is free of pain, so is a saintly life free from suffering.
Say that again. A sane life
Mhm,
is free from pain.
mhm.
Oh, okay. So if you live intelligently, relatively, your body will be healthy for a time. Nobody gets out alive, and you gotta die of something. So, for most people, disease, it doesn't have to be a constant, but dis-ease of the body will happen. You just deal with it. But I love that he makes this distinction between physical pain and mental suffering. I was working with a young man yesterday and he's terribly depressed. He wasn't even able to shower. His mind just going down rabbit holes. You know, he's young and healthy, physically just fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with his life, but his mind was torturing him. And we can be free from a torturing mind. It is possible. Going on.
As a sane life is free of pain, so is a saintly life free from suffering. Questioner. Nobody has suffered more than saints. Maharaj. Did they tell you, or do you say so on your own? The essence of saintliness is total acceptance of the present moment, harmony with things as they happen. A saint does not want things to be different from what they are. He knows that, considering all factors, they are unavoidable. He is friendly with the inevitable and therefore does not suffer. Pain he may know, but it does not shatter him. If he can, he does what is needed to restore the lost balance, or he lets things take their course.
I love, the stories of Saint Francis of Assisi, the way in which he articulated this deep connection with all of life. He would use phraseology like brother sun, sister moon. And he called his body brother ass, like a donkey. Oh, it's so interesting. Do you know what his last words were? Welcome, sister death. Even that, be welcome. This is why I'm so fond of the Tibetan meditation Tonglen, which I think I've taught to most of you. Are you familiar with it, Natasha?
I've been familiar, but it's been a long.
Just to review, you can do it for yourself, you can do it for a friend or a client, you can do it for the world. But the idea is you breathe in the suffering. And the beauty of that is it helps us to not resist or fight or protect. It's exactly the opposite of, new agey people. Oh, I'm going to surround myself with white light to protect myself from negative energy. People who do that, that's all resistance. That's giving something power that it really doesn't have. So Tonglen says, oh no, breathe it in. And then breathe out the antidote, peace. Feeling freedom. Use your own breath as a way to transmute. This is, by the way, are the deepest meanings of alchemy that we have in the Western tradition. Turning lead to gold. This is what it means. We have a beautiful metaphor in the Hindu tradition of the lotus. Where does the lotus grow?
Mud. Mud.
Yeah, the fetid, kind of swampy thing. So that's where its roots are. It's just like your mind. But out of it is the most fragrant lotus. And again, the Master Jesus said, resist not evil. Don't fight. The yogi has given up fighting anyone or anything. Welcome. Any thoughts on this? Now we look out on our world today. And we see lots of people fighting lots of things. And again, as the Master Jesus said, as people had nailed him to the cross, one of the things he's reported to have said, we do not know for sure. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Can you go there? All right, going on.
Pain he may know, but it does not shatter him. If he can, he does what is needed to restore the lost balance, or he lets things take their course. Questioner, he may die. Maharaj, so what? What does he gain by living on, and what does he lose by dying? What was born must die. What was never born cannot die.
Amen.
It all depends on what he takes himself to be. Questioner, imagine you fall mortally ill. Would you not regret and resent? Maharaj, but I am dead already, or rather, neither alive nor dead. You see my body behaving the habitual way and draw your own conclusions. You will not admit that your conclusions find nobody but you. Do you see that the image you have of me may be altogether wrong? Your image of yourself is wrong too, but that is your problem. You do not need to create problems for me and then ask me to solve them. I am neither creating problems nor solving them. That's the end of the chapter.
And when he got cancer, his very last book. Did we did through that in this class, didn't we? I went through it with
I
some,
think so.
yeah, it's fascinating as he walked through it. So back to what we were talking about before class, Amaji's mobility issues. Some people may say, why doesn't she get on a treadmill? She could. But that's not what's given her to do. Swamiji was diabetic. He took his insulin. He still died. Any thoughts?
Well, I like this line, the line that says, you need not create problems for me and then ask me to solve them. I mean, that's something that, a big lesson about not
Yeah.
projecting onto other people what their
Yes.
problems are, you know?
Yeah. All right, next chapter.
Chapter 58. Perfection, destiny of all.
Jai.
The urge to find oneself is a sign that you are getting ready. The impulse always comes from within. Unless your time has come, you will have neither the desire nor the strength to go for self-inquiry wholeheartedly. Questioner: when asked about the means for self-realization, you invariably stress the importance of the mind dwelling on the sense I am. What is the causal factor? Why should this particular thought result in self-realization? How does the contemplation of I am affect me? Maharaj: the very fact of observation alters the observer and the observed. After all, what prevents the insight into one's true nature is the weakness and obtuseness of the mind, and its tendency to skip the subtle and focus on the gross only.
So let's stop there. The Upanishads say the Lord created the senses with outgoing tendencies. And here that also means the mind, because the mind is a sense organ. We're designed to look, to perceive external things. Let me give you a very clear example. Put your finger like a foot in front of your face. Focus your eyes on your finger. Now remove your finger and try to stay focused on the space without the finger. See how hard that is to do?
Mm-hmm.
The eyes need a thing to see. It's very difficult to just see space. And in the interior world, the mind focuses on subtle objects, feelings, thoughts, images, memories. It even focuses on ahankriti, egoism. I am this, I am that. All this is stuff that is knowable. Few people, without the instruction of a guru, without the instruction of the Upanishads, the scriptures, ever think to have this radical introversion of the attentive faculty. Who am I? Even if someone asks that question, they start to think of what the body is, what the body does, what the mind feels, what the intellect thinks. They think that's a self, but it's not. It's not. So this is the great power of the jnana vritti, the thought of knowledge. Koham, who am I? The great teaching of Ramana Maharshi. Or Maharaj here, focusing on I am. This is a thought that removes erroneous thinking in the end. Now, this is my particular paradigm. There are two cosmic forces always working in the human psyche. Karma and dharma. Karma. Everything we do creates a reaction. As the result of that, I make choices. Well, that didn't work very well. Maybe I'll try this. If that were the only force, we just keep going round and round in a circle, lifetime after lifetime. Always held by desire. Maybe this time I'll win. If that were the only force, we'd be doomed. But there's another impulse that's happening, the Dharma. Questions? What is the Dharma of a human being?
Self-realization. Self-realization. Self-realization.
Oh, she is correct. That has two ways of looking at it. The first, the absolute. What is your swabhav, your essential nature, your swarup? How do you know you are you? I don't know, I just do. That's right. You are Swayambhu, self-evident, Swayam Jyoti, self-luminous. And you've always had it. But in my mind, I do not know it.
My mind, what?
Pardon me?
What did you say?
In my mind, I do not know it, or I do not know it as a direct experience. I may intellectually grasp it. So, what do the scriptures mean? There's an impulse. Are you closing the window? Thank you.
I'm closing the door.
Close the window too.
I think they're gonna.
They'll pass. They're just kids going to their classes. So, how does the Dharma express itself in the human mind? The human mind is a pleasure seeker, pain avoider mechanism. Just like a plant turns towards the light. Your mind seeks the good by your highest understanding of the good at any particular moment and avoids misery. From the moment you get up in the morning to the moment your head hits the pillow at night, you don't do anything else. Anybody want to debate that? What about if I'm altruistic? You only are altruistic because you think that's a better good. That's the mind's nature. Now, the question is, what is good? Where is good? That's the only doubt. Money. That's good. I want more money. How does that work out for you? Are all the people at Google happy?
No.
Big house. Did you know nobody currently in the royal family lives in Buckingham Palace? Do you know why? Damn place is 300 years old. It's falling apart. They're having a massive renovation. A $5 billion house. And nobody's living in it. The electrical, the plumbing, the wiring, all that sort of stuff. It's just been patched up since the 50s, right after the war. Big house doesn't do it. Do you have friends who are divorced? Yes, no?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
I guess a marriage doesn't do it for everybody. So all we keep doing is looking for the good. What's going to make me happy? And after lifetimes of searching, maybe what the scriptures say, maybe what the saints say has some truth to it. Maybe I should try the spiritual path. Now, the good news, as Lord Krishna says in Gita, even a little of this knowledge frees us from great fear. Long before self-realization dawns on the mind, just the practices start to bring more peace. Who's gotten some value from the working of their yoga? Yeah. Otherwise, why do it? So the inevitability is everybody comes home to God. No one is ever left out. Even Donald Trump. Even Saddam Hussein. Even Vladimir Putin. Everyone comes home to God. In time. As a response to suffering. Any thoughts going on?
When you follow my advice and try to keep your mind on the notion of I am only, you become fully aware of your mind and its vagaries. Awareness, being lucid harmony, sattva in action, dissolves dullness and quiets the restlessness of the mind, and gently but steadily changes its very substance. This change need not be spectacular. It may be hardly noticeable, yet it is a deep and fundamental shift from darkness to light, from inadvertence to awareness. Questioner, must it be the I am formula? Will not any other sentence do? If I concentrate on there is a table, will it not serve the same purpose? Maharaj, as an exercise in concentration, yes, but it will not take you beyond the idea of a table. You are not interested in tables. You want to know yourself. For this, keep steadily in the focus of consciousness, the only clue you have, your certainty of being. Be with it, play with it, ponder over it, delve deeply into it, until the shell of ignorance breaks open and you emerge into the realm of reality. Questioner, is there any causal link between my focusing on the I am and the breaking of the shell? Maharaj, the urge to find oneself is a sign that you are getting ready. The impulse always comes from within. Unless your time has come, you will neither have the desire nor the strength to go for self-inquiry wholeheartedly. Questioner. Is not the grace of the Guru responsible for the desire and its fulfillment? Is it not the Guru's radiant face, the bait on which we are caught and pulled out of this mire of sorrow? Maharaj. It is the inner Guru, Sadguru, who takes you to the outer Guru.
So I have
As a
a
mother.
story. Once upon a time, there was a little baby chick inside its shell who was studying Vedantic scriptures. And it had learned that all healthy chicks hatch. And so it decided that I need not struggle to come out of the shell. It will happen. Every chick hatches. My brother chicks and sister chicks inside their eggs are stupid. They struggle. They do not need to. Very smart chick studied the Vedanta in his shell. So in time, the chick grew and grew and grew and began to think, it's getting pretty crowded in here, but I trust God. God will deliver everything. It's inevitable. It's my swadharma. And then it kept growing and growing and growing. Okay, God, I'm waiting. This is getting really uncomfortable in here. And the chick kept growing and growing and growing. And finally it said, I can't stand it in here anymore. Back, 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 back. And it pecked its way out of its shell, just like every other chick. Meaning it's an inevitability. You cannot fall off the path. Just like for the baby chick, its liberation from the shell was a reaction to its intolerance of its confinement. Our bandha, our bondage, becomes intolerable after a while. I must have liberation. The other great metaphor, does any child choose puberty? You have a healthy body, it matures, and you go through puberty. Now, you make a lot of choices because of puberty, but you don't really choose it. It's nature. It's your prakriti. So when the scriptures say the dharma of a human being is self-realization, not only is it a definition of yourself, you know yourself, but it also describes the inevitability of the process that we're going through. Any thoughts? All right, going on.
It is the inner Guru, Sadguru, who takes you to the outer Guru, as a mother takes her child to a teacher. Trust and obey your Guru, for he is the messenger of your real self. Questioner. How do I find a Guru whom I can trust? Maharaj, your own heart will tell you. There is no difficulty in finding a Guru, because the Guru is in search of you. The Guru is always ready. You are not ready. You have to be ready to learn, or you may meet your Guru and waste your chance by sheer inattentiveness and obstinacy. Take my example. There was nothing in me of much promise, but when I met my Guru, I listened, trusted, and obeyed. Questioner. Must I not examine the teacher before I put myself entirely into his hands? Maharaj, by all means examine. But what can you find out? Only as he appears to you on your own level. Questioner, I shall watch whether he is consistent, whether there is harmony between his life and his teaching. Maharaj, you may find plenty of disharmony. So what? It proves nothing. Only motives matter. How will you know his motives? Questioner, I should at least expect him to be a man of self-control who lives a righteous life. Maharaj, you will find many such, and of no use to you. A guru can show the way back home to your real self. What has this to do with the character or temperament of the person he appears to be? Does he not clearly tell you that he is not the person? The only way you can judge is by the change in yourself when you are in his company.
Yes.
If you feel more at peace and happy, if you understand yourself with more than usual clarity and depth, it means you have met the right person. Take your time, but once you have made up your mind to trust him absolutely, and follow every instruction fully and faithfully.
So let me riff a little bit on what he's saying here. If you meet someone and they're a charlatan, you may end up being disappointed. But you've got a good bullshit detector, you'll figure this out. If antithetically, you can't trust anybody, you're left only with your own will. And in the end, even that is not an impediment. As life crushes your willpower. Going on.
It does not matter much if you do not accept him as your guru and are satisfied with his company only. Satsang alone can also take you to your goal, provided it is unmixed and undisturbed. But once you accept somebody as your guru, listen, remember, and obey. Half-heartedness is a serious drawback and the cause of much self-created sorrow. The mistake is never the guru's. It is always the obtuseness and stubbornness of the disciple that is at fault. Questioner, does the guru then dismiss or disqualify a disciple? Maharaj, he would not be a guru if he did. He bides his time and waits until the disciple, chastened and sobered, comes back to him in a more receptive mood. Questioner, what is the motive? Why does the guru take so much trouble? Maharaj, sorrow and the ending of sorrow. He sees people suffering in their dreams, and he wants them to wake up. Love is intolerant of pain and suffering. The patience of a guru has no limits, and therefore it cannot be defeated. The guru never fails. Questioner, is my first guru also my last, or do I have to pass from guru to guru? Maharaj, the entire universe is your guru. You learn from everything if you are alert and intelligent. Were your mind clear and your heart clean, you would learn from every passerby. It is because you are indolent or restless that your inner self manifests as the outer guru and makes you trust him and obey. Questioner, is a guru inevitable? Maharaj, it is like asking, is a mother inevitable? To rise in consciousness from one dimension to another, you need help. The help may not always be in the shape of a human person. It may be a subtle presence or a spark of intuition, but help must come. The inner self is watching and waiting for the son to return to his father. At the right time, he arranges everything affectionately and effectively. Where a messenger or guide is needed, He sends the Guru to do the needful.
So let me pause there. Again, going back to Shankara. In Vivekachudamani, Shankara says, success in spiritual endeavors is entirely due to the degree of the qualifications of the student. Other factors such as time and place, and I would even add the guru, while important, are fundamentally secondary. You can have the greatest guru in the whole world. But if you do not have yoga balam, the power to do the work, the courage, the mumukshutva, the burning desire for freedom, nothing happens. Any thoughts on this?
That's easy to witness in the Amma world.
Pardon me?
That's easy to witness in the Amma world.
Go on.
I mean, because she takes in everyone, there's nobody turned away. Everyone is there at every different level of understanding and on their path and, consciousness and craziness, and it's a full spectrum. And there can be people who are living at the ashram, with the Amma all the time, or, frequently there, whatever, lots of time in her presence, lots of time in the ashram, and, doing some practices to some degree, and then, but it just looks like the same thing year after year after year, and they're expressing the same things, and they're frustrated with the same things. And then there's people, who are also there and and they're like advancing. It's like palpable. And then there's people who are living away, but have a connection with her, but that's not so consistent or frequent. And both are also true that way too,
Yeah.
So it's totally clear that that burning desire has to be there. To me, it's what I see.
You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. Going on. How much longer in this chapter? Because we've only got about a couple minutes.
About a page.
Okay, we'll finish it.
Questioner. There is one thing I cannot grasp. You speak of the inner self as wise and good and beautiful and in every way perfect, and of the person as a mere reflection without a being of his own. On the other hand, you take so much trouble in helping the person to realize himself. If the person is so unimportant, why be so concerned with his welfare? Who cares for a shadow? Maharaj, you have brought in a duality where there is none. There is the body, and there is the self. Between them is the mind, in which the self is reflected as I am. Because of the imperfections of the mind, its crude and restless nature, lack of discernment and insight, it takes itself to be the body, not the self. All that is needed is to purify the mind so that it can realize its identity with the self. When the mind merges in the self, the body presents no problems. It remains what it is, an instrument of cognition and action, the tool and the expression of the creative fire within. The ultimate value of the body is that it serves to discover the cosmic body, which is the universe in its entirety. As you realize yourself in manifestation, you keep on discovering that you are ever more than what you imagine. Questioner. Is there no end to self-discovery? Maharaj. As there is no beginning, there is no end. But what I have discovered by the grace of my Guru is that I am nothing that can be pointed at. I am neither this nor that. This holds absolutely. Questioner. Then where does the never-ending discovery come in? The endless transcending oneself into new dimensions. Maharaj, all this belongs to the realm of manifestation. It is in the very structure of the universe that the higher can be had only through freedom from the lower. Questioner, what is lower and what is higher? Maharaj, look at it in terms of awareness. Wider and deeper consciousness is higher. All that lives works for protecting, perpetuating, and expanding consciousness. This is the world's sole meaning and purpose. It is the very essence of yoga, ever raising the level of consciousness, discovery of new dimensions with their properties, qualities, and powers. In that sense, the entire universe becomes a school of yoga, Yoga Kshetra. Questioner, is perfection the destiny of all beings? Maharaj, of all living beings, ultimately. The possibility becomes a certainty when the notion of enlightenment appears in the mind. Once a living being has heard and understood that deliverance is within his reach, he will never forget, for it is the first message from within. It will take root and grow, and in due course, take the blessed shape of the Guru. Questioner, so all we are concerned with is the redemption of the mind? Maharaj, what else? The mind goes astray, the mind returns home. Even the word astray is not proper. The mind must know itself in every mood. Nothing is a mistake unless repeated. That's the end of the chapter.
Okay. Any thoughts before we end? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.